Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents the Boom Boom Room, and of course, I am the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio. That's right, Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. Kids, another Smackdown is in the books, and of course, the question we ask at the beginning of each and every show that we do is, what do you give tonight's show? Do you give it a win? Do you give it a loss? Or do you give it a tie? Let me know down here in the comments in the comment section here in the chat room. It'll be up and running. Also, get your questions and comments in. I'll be more than glad to answer anything that I can. I'm just going to go ahead and be a little bit merciful. I'm going to give it a weak win. I absolutely think Styles and Jericho completely saved and made that show. Without them, it just would have been utter shit. Or as my friend LK would say, a toilet. It would have been horrible, but those two, I think, really came through. I think the build-up was pretty good. I think the storytelling was actually pretty decent, at least by WWE standards, for the entire show. I hate that they relied so much on recaps, but overall it was rather enjoyable. And I think what makes SmackDown a little bit better, as far as entertainment-wise, is Ronaldo Moralo. Probably just butchered his name. I apologize. I think he's doing a phenomenal job, pardon the pun here, on commentary. Jerry Lawler, he's a little bit more heel, which is kind of annoying, but I do kind of like this for the sake of it being different. And then, of course, Byron Saxton, who's like a fucking sock puppet out there. I love you, Byron, but dude, no, you're trying way too damn hard. But anyway, so let's get on with it. Again, make sure you put down, get all your questions, your comments. Also, let me know what did you give tonight's show, win, loss, or tie. As I previously stated, I'm going to give it a weak win. I think Jericho and Styles was strong enough to carry the match here. Well, not just their match, but the entire show. So it actually started out with I thought that was actually going to be the first match. That was a hell of a good first match, because I thought they were going to start out, or not a good match, but a good setup. I thought we were going to have Styles versus Jericho immediately. Then their promo was, or not, but the match hadn't even started. They hadn't started the first elbow collar tie up, and then out come the Social Outcast, running their mouths. And it led to a 3-on-2 match. A 2-on-2 match. It was Curtis Axel and Adam Rose. Axel Rose, however you want to put it here. The Social Outcats, whatever, teaming up to take on Chris Jericho and AJ Styles. Styles and Jericho got the win. It was about roughly a 5-minute match. It was about what you thought it was going to be. Jericho hit a lion salt. Styles tagged himself in. He came and did a springboard elbow. Clocked Adam Rose, gets the win. Referee raises both their hands. Jericho goes over there and hits the code breaker on Styles, because the match is going to be the main event. So I think that was a great way to set the tone, because I thought, oh, wow, they're going to go ahead and give this match away right off the top. I was like, then I thought, okay, don't tell me they're going to do something here where they're going to cancel the match. No, we're still going to have it. We just got a bonus match. We got a bonus tag team match. We got to see Jericho and Styles team up. I like where this is going here. I think Chris Jericho is the only person who could really get in there and handle a feud with AJ Styles right now, because Jericho's got a pretty extensive background going overseas. AJ Styles, of course, completely skipped over NXT, went straight into the main roster. And I think this is about safe. I think if you're going to get anybody acclimated to the WWE style, it's Jericho. And maybe he's giving us pointers, okay, do this, not that. The back fist that Styles did in the show looks a little bit better. Because remember, that knocked out the Miz's teeth, but I'm not complaining because he broke the fucking Miz's teeth. Who cares? Next, we had something, I think this was ridiculous. Okay, Bubba and Devon, the Dudleys come out there saying they made a statement. Of course, they're talking about their heel turn on the Usos on Raw. And they're talking about, we're tired of people talking about Daniel Bryan. In fact, we're tired of a lot of things. We're tired of being, looked at as a nostalgic tag. We're actually the baddest team on the planet. We're going to add to our legacy. And then they just did like the dumbest thing ever. They're like, okay, you see all these tables? Well, we're not going to break any more tables. We're not going to we're not going to break any tables. We're not going to do it. So just get over it. And I thought, okay, that's lame. It's like when they turned Hacksaw Jim Duggan heel. They had him shave his beard and talk about Canada, wear Canadian colors. Let's see what else. When they had Adam Rose, when they turned him heel, instead he was like, oh, I'm a party guy. No, I don't like parties anymore. Whatever. I'm not going to complain about the Dudleys turning heel. It's just they needed something for that, something from, because I mean they brought him back with all this pomp and circumstances, and they've done nothing. But what can they do? I mean, what's left for them to do except for work with the younger guys? I mean, they've won the tag team titles 20 some odd times now, and we're talking every promotion they've been in, they've won the tag team championships. I mean, what more can they do? I mean, I think working with the younger teams is what they needed to do. So again, I just think that's just kind of a cop out here. That was lazy writing. Next was Sasha Banks versus Naomi. Uh, I really wasn't into this match. Don't get me wrong. I like the Boss. I like Sasha Banks. I like Naomi, but I don't like the way WWE does Divas matches. But I've had to remind myself, oh, wait a minute, this isn't Raw, this is SmackDown. And they gave them some time. I mean, they gave them like NXT time. I mean, we're talking actually more than NXT time. They gave them just under 15 minutes. And I really wasn't into it at first, but as the show went on, I got more and more into it, got more and more invested in it. And by the way, how dumb does Becky Lynch look in this entire thing? Seriously. I'm asking. Okay, she gets screwed over with PCB. Okay, whatever. Then Charlotte turns on her, and then loses the championship match against her at the Royal Rumble. Gets the crap beaten out of her after the match. Then gets the crap beaten out of her with Sasha Banks. Then Sasha Banks breaks up with Team Bad, and now you've got Sasha, Banks in the wrestling the match, and Becky Lynch in there doing commentary, and it's like, she get, oh, we're not friends. This is a business arrangement. But the thing is, Becky, you keep going and making saves against her. In fact, you lost a match on Raw because you got too distracted going in there and trying to save Sasha Banks from Naomi, and you caught a super kick right in the kisser from Tamina Snuka. So to me, Becky Lynch looks stupid in all this because she's going out of her way to help someone she openly says is not her friend. Forms an alliance with somebody, and the partner doesn't necessarily return the favor. Yeah, Sasha Banks, Naomi tied it up early, but what I liked is when they went to the outside, when Tamina interfered, and Banks, Tamina just threw around Becky, making her again look stupid, making her look weak. But the Boss went in there and handled business. I like when she just kicked Tamina right in the face into the commentary chair and flipped that thing over. That was a damn good thing. Goes back in the ring. Eventually, there was Naomi tried to roll her up, and I thought, okay, not again. Here they go. They're going to have the same end. No. Sasha reversed it, hit a bank statement, quickly got the tap out. I really liked it. They gave them time, and the longer that this particular match went, I got a little bit more into it. So good job. The Wyatts came out and gave a interview in the ring. They didn't wrestle. They just talked about Greek mythology, so who cares? Next, we had a very short, and I do mean short, six-man match. You had the Ascension and Stardust, the Cosmic Wasteland, taking on Neville and the Lucha Dragons. And it's like, okay, this is something good for Thursday Night SmackDown. Here we go. And that thing was over in like maybe 2.5 minutes. I really think they could have done a lot more with this. I mean, it was Callisto was taking a lot of damage. Goes in there and gets the hot tag. They were double teaming here. Eventually, Callisto hit the Salida del Sol, and then Sin Cara hit a Swanton. Then Neville went up to the top rope and hit the Red Arrow. They got the win. It's pretty good. Then next we had the main event: Chris Jericho versus AJ Styles. You know what? Jericho won, and I ain't even mad. I ain't even mad. I think it was a pretty good, especially for a WWE style match. I've seen both of these guys, go balls out. And no, this wasn't a bad match. I mean, you have to hold back some things because this is apparently a feud now because Jericho gets the win, which makes sense because remember, Styles got the win last week. And now Jericho gets the win. And yes, I am critical of WWE's 50-50 booking right now. But this makes sense because if you want to have it to be a feud, then yeah, Jericho needed to pick up that win. He desperately needed to pick up that win because if you have Styles go up 2-0 on Chris Jericho, then any other match is meaningless because it doesn't matter. Because even if Jericho would have won, then he still would have been behind. This evens up the series, and especially if you're going to do a feud, this is the best way to kind of keep it going. You have them trade stuff back and forth. I enjoyed. He eventually Jericho won with the code breaker. This is. I'm not like I said. I'm not mad at it. Normally I don't like the 50-50 booking, but if they're going to keep a feud going, this is the way to keep it going. So all in all, if you haven't seen it, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth a look. I mean, if you can skip through they do a bunch of Raw recaps, with Brock Lesnar, and then the nice video package with Daniel Bryan. If you can skip through stuff like that, I think it's worth I think it's worth your time. If you want to check it out, again, I give it a week win. So a lot of fun, but it is a lot of fun. So all right, let's go to your questions here. Let's see, Rey Mysterio, he gives it a win. Rey Mysterio says, was it good that Y2J beat up AJ? I liked how they booked it because they were going to have them type, and just as soon as they're going in, they have the social outcast interrupt, and it's like, okay, here's this big match. We thought they were going to give it to us right off the bat. No, they took it away, and now you get to see these guys wrestle with each other against a common enemy, but they're still going to have their match later on, so we've got something to look forward to. I think that was a smart idea. And if you're not trying to keep a feud going, if you're not gonna have this culminate at Fastlane, or maybe is it too early? I don't think I'd want to see this for Mania. But if I want to kind of keep this going, you got to have Y2J beat AJ. He has to. Otherwise, it's going to kill all the momentum that Jericho has. Rey Mysterio thinks I look younger every day. I don't know how the hell I pull that off, but no, thank you, I guess. SmackDown is better than Raw. What do you think? Yeah, I would. Entertainment-wise, I was more entertained by SmackDown than Raw. On a typical night, I know people are like, "Oh, well, you're saying this SmackDown was better than Raw?" When Daniel Bryan's not fucking retiring and we're all fucking crying. Yeah, SmackDown's a little bit better because you have longer matches. You have a 2-hour show, so the pace doesn't completely drag. You're not doing things just for the sake of filler, and it's got a lot of good entertainment value. So yeah, I would say in that respect, yeah, it's better than Raw. Now, as far as like notoriety and newsworthiness, no, I say Raw's better, but entertainment wise and wrestling wise, SmackDown's the go-to show. When is the last time you saw TNA? I quit. What? God, when did I quit watching TNA? I'm trying to remember. It was. I think I really quit watching when they left Spike TV because I was barely even watching it then, and I wasn't even gonna Destination America. My cable provider has that, but it's like on a different tier package, so I'd have to spend more money. And I'm like, dude, I'm not spending more money just to watch TNA. And now they're off of it, and I do get Pop, and Pop is part of my regular package. Let's see. So yeah, it's been a while. I'm not completely done with TNA. I'm just not interested in it right now. I have no interest in watching TNA, and from the reviews that LK and Coco were doing, it doesn't sound like I'm missing too much. Let's see, ECW or XPW, which one do you like better? ECW straight up. let's see. If you did the brands again, who would be on SmackDown and who would be on Raw? I think that's a different show. That could be a good stump the idiot question because I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could just do that, briefly. So I could just look at the roster, and I don't even know if it's big enough to move to two different brands, but that might be a different story. Let's see. Rey Mysterio like the Dudley's promo. Crazy J Ray, they paid AJ too much to put him in NXT. Oh yeah, they paid out the nose for him. And from what I understand, I think they also paid Nakamura huge money to come over to the United States. What was the best WrestleMania? I think WrestleMania 3, because you had Steamboat Savage, then you had Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant. I think that was one of the better ones that they had. Let's see, Rey Mysterio, who are you voting for president? I haven't made up my mind yet. I'm still watching debates. I work in news, so yeah, naturally I follow the candidates and stuff, but no, I haven't made up my mind yet. Let's see, Becky Lynch is hot. No disagreements there. What was the point of Vince's death storyline in 2007? I think what he was trying to do is going to see how people would react to his death, and how everything would be, how they would run his company if something happened to him, and it was supposed to be kind of like a test, to kind of test his family to see, how could they cope, how could they run the company in his absence, how would people remember him, and then, but I think that all blew up because of pardon the pun there, pardon the expression, excuse me. But then the whole Chris Benoit thing happened, and they ditched it, which I think was a good idea. Do you think WWE would have been better if Benoit didn't do what he did? Yeah, yes and no. Yes, because that was just a tragedy. All around. 3 people would still be alive. But I think WWE never wouldn't have. Well, I think that eventually they would have went to PG. I don't think they would have went as abruptly as they did. But I think one good thing that did come out of that is they really started paying attention to concussions, and then the whole. They already had the wellness policy in place after the death of Eddie Guerrero, but I think after the Chris Benoit murder suicide, they really started noticing. They really brought the whole concussion issue to the forefront. So they got rid of the chair shots to the head. They started taking better care of their former employees, if you will. They started giving, paying for rehab for former talents, which I think helped out a lot of people. So there was a silver lining on that cloud. Why didn't you like Rey Mysterio as a champion? Because I called him the pity fuck champion. Because if he was not one of Eddie Guerrero's friends, and plus because Mysterio actively campaigned to do it for Eddie, make me the champion, he basically abused his friendship to get something that he normally wouldn't have gotten. And plus, when he was the champion, he was always the underdog champion, and I think he lost a majority of his matches then, and his title reign was not that great. It was bad. I think Brian Zane over with Wrestling with Regret, he actually did a comparison, and I think I think it was Mysterio. I think it was he compared Chris Jericho's first reign as champion and Rey Mysterio's reign as champion as which one had the worst, and kind of laid them all out. But I think Mysterio ultimately won that one, so it's got a good argument there laid out. Why did they stop the Bray versus Lesnar feud? I think they may have something better for them. I'm thinking they may have Lesnar Ambrose at Mania now, and I think they're going to try to do something different with the Wyatts, but I don't know what WWE's going to do. Mohammed Faiz Danielle says, "Do you feel that the Dudley Boys said goodbye to the table? Does that mean they followed the New Day's anti-table principle?" I guess so. Okay, yes, people have seen my cat in the background. That's one of my 2 cats, but yes, thank you. What did you think of Edge? Oh man, Edge was amazing. He's a guy who busted a glass ceiling. That's somebody I didn't think would ever be a champion, and he did. He wound up being one of the best heels WWE's ever had. I mean, he was like super bad. I mean, the rated R superstar. And I hate that his career so abruptly came to an end. But he had one hell of a run. He was a great foil against John Cena back in that day. So I mean, he did great. Let's see. Was Teddy Long a good GM? No, because he made every match a tag match. Triple H or HBK in their prime. HBK. Austin or Rock in their prime. Austin. What are you doing, Stump the Idiot? Actually, what we do is we just get enough questions, and then we compile it, and it's either me or Coco or LK. What we'll do is just really whatever you do, just put your question down here in the comment section when the show's over with, and eventually we kind of go through all these. We kind of go through some of our old shows, and we just find stuff that we really didn't answer that we need to elaborate on. And then after we get enough, like, oh, okay, well, we'll try to do a Stump the Idiot. Pushberry Fire, Ric Flair's Lisp, J. Robert Scullett, and Shawn Michaels Stray-Eye. Let's see, I push Ric Flair's Lisp. I bury Jake Robert Scullett, and I fire Shawn Michaels Stray-Eye. Is Titus' suspension related to any, and this is from Muhammad here, is Titus' suspension related to any changes for the WWE's policies and why? No, he was just, I believe LK and Coco did a whole show on this. If you look, if you're not subscribed, just go and subscribe to us, but look on our past videos. We've got a video out about that. No, Titus O'Neil, at the very end of the Daniel Bryan celebration, they were kind of celebrating his career. And as they were going off the air, McMahons are all walking to the back, and then you see Titus O'Neil. It seemed like he was horsing around and pulled on Vince McMahon's arm, and Vince pushed him away. And then it wasn't until after that, it wasn't until the SmackDown tapings that they had said that he was suspended for 90 days. Now they've since reduced that to 60 days, which still keeps Titus O'Neil out of Mania, but Titus offered an explanation. It was actually today, as a matter of fact, offered an explanation for it, saying that he was trying to pull Vince so that way Stephanie could walk out first and, just have the lady go first. And that's fine. But I know I'm probably going to take some heat for this, but I actually kind of agree with WWE because there's a time and there's a place for everything. And that just what was going on, with Daniel Bryan and him retiring, that it just wasn't the time and it wasn't the place for it. And even with the explanation, I'm like, dude, you don't need to do that. You don't, in that type of situation, in that type of atmosphere. I mean, if it's, any other show, yeah, I'd have been like, yeah, WWE went too far. Vinny, you need to lighten up. But this was one of those, I kind of felt like I understand what Titus was doing, but you just can't go around. You just can't go around and yank the owner of the company. And I think people are way too harsh on WWE and jumping on them. I mean, you had an event where a guy is literally giving his body to the company. He'd given it everything he had. His career's cut short. I mean, this guy is just saying, okay, it's official. I can't do this anymore. I have to hang it up. And remember this, career. It's like his last hurrah. I mean, this is the last big moment he's going to have on Raw. And we need to honor this guy's career, his accomplishments, what he's done. This little guy that wasn't supposed to make it, little guy that wasn't supposed to do it, who went and became like this mega star because the fans latched onto him, just embraced him. And then you see Titus kind of horsing around, and then he says, well, I just wanted Stephanie to go first when they were exiting. Dude, no, it wasn't the time. It wasn't the place. It was too far. Now, granted, I think that maybe the suspension's a little too harsh. I will give you that. But you can't, you can't do that. You just can't. And I know I'm probably going to get some heat for that, but no, I actually kind of defend WWE's decision to do that. Let's see. Oh, okay. Apparently, Muhammad, we can call him FD. He's hailing from Malaysia. All right, Malaysia. I have not been to Malaysia yet. Maybe I should. Oh, wow. Raymond Steiny's getting deep on me here. What do you believe in after death? That's a different show, different story for a different day. But he also wants to know, how would you have booked Steiner in WWE? I wouldn't have, because I wouldn't have hired him. How would you save WCW? I would have made like the New Blood versus the Millionaires Club. I would have made the Young Blood the good guys. I would have just kind of gradually started phasing out the old guys or pushed them down on the card and helped them use to get the next generation ready. That's what I would have done. Who is your favorite all-time in WWE? I don't think I have one. I mean, that's just too many people in WWE. I just can't, put it on just one person. I'm trying to get through just question. Not going to answer that one from Ray Mastani because I'm not saying it's not racist. I just don't know if I can actually answer that one. Which version of AJ Styles is better, the 2000 to 2006 X Division or the 2014 through 2016 New Japan? Oh, yeah, without a doubt, the New Japan version. AJ Styles did the best work, in my opinion, did the best work of his career after he left TNA. Let's see. FD, he wants, let's see. Is Ty's suspension solidified WWE status on the racial issues? No, I don't think it was a racial. I honestly, no, I don't think anything that happened with Ty. I think if anybody, I mean, who is the whitest guy? Who is the absolute whitest guy in WWE right now? I mean, whiter than freaking white. I mean, white. When you think white boy, you think this guy. I'm thinking, no, let's see. Who do you think would be I know. Tyson Kidd. If he would have done that, I mean, still, I think the same thing. So I don't think race had anything to do with it. Let's see. You didn't like Steiner? No, I did not. I've never been a fan of. Actually, I was a fan of Scott Steiner back in his WCW days, early WCW days, back in the early 90s. I was a fan of the Steiner brothers. And then I noticed that Scott started to get really, I was like, wow, he really bulked up when he left WCW. Him and his brother left WCW, went to the WWF. I noticed that, he and, particularly, Scott really bulked up. And then him and Rick went to ECW briefly. And then eventually they went back to WCW. And then when they turned him heel, they had, the big booty daddy. That's when I just completely hated him. I was like, and I thought, okay, that's just the heel Scott Steiner, and he just never stopped. He never changed his look. I liked it was him and Rick came out in the Michigan jackets and the collegiate wrestling gear. That was my favorite version of Scott's. But after that, it was just like, okay, there's no way that this motherfucker is not on roids. Let's see if Cena did it, he wouldn't have been punished. No, Cena wouldn't have done it, but I agree with you. No, I don't think he would have, but I just, it's part of the cool kids club. I don't think it has anything to do with race. I know people are like, well, if someone's a minority and they do whatever and somebody does something back to them on that, it's racism. No. I don't think that's always the case. In this case, I don't think race had anything to do with it. It's just had to do with unprofessional conduct. That's, I really wish I could go deeper, or we wish, I could say something like, but I don't think it goes any deeper than that. I really don't. All right, let's see. Looking around here. Looking through your guys was, no, had that one. I'm sorry, this Stalling for Time brought to you by KocoSports.com. Be sure to check us out. Who would you say is the best wrestler in the world today? That's from Bullethead, excuse me. Sorry, I'm having 90s. I was thinking like Beavis and Butthead there for a second. The best one, I was going to say AJ Styles, but actually I think right now it's Okada. I think Okada right now is the best wrestler in the world. We're going worldwide. I would say that Styles is a close second, but right now I think it's Okada. Kazuchika Okada from New Japan. I think he's the best. All right, let me go ahead and start doing the shameless self-promotion. I want to tell everybody to check us out at prowrestling.me. That's right, it's not a .com, it's prowrestling.me. We've got news and gossip on there. We've got a link to all our podcasts. If you happen to miss anything, you can check that out. But what I'm most proudest of is we got a forum that you guys can converse in. And then we've also got a blog. We've also got, a blog, and we've got So if you want to have, express your opinion on here, basically ProWrestling.me is a pro wrestling pub for professional wrestling fans. So if you want to express anything, write an article about anything, you can do it here, uncut, uncensored. You can, meet people, chat. I mean, we've got a private messaging feature on there. It's all positively 100% free. So feel free to use it. Hang out with us. We enjoy it. I mean, you guys are amazing. It's getting a little bit bigger every day, so thank you for everyone who has subscribed to it and signed up with us. And I like to tell everybody to also check us out at KocoSports.com, KocoSports.com. It's your home for all combat sports. It's where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, it's where it's okay. It's actually, believe it or not, okay to be a passionate fan. So I guess that's gonna, let's see. Oh, no problem there, bullet head. That's actually gonna do it for me. LK, he's gonna be reviewing Ring of Honor and Main Event. Yeah, he's one of like 4 people left on the planet who still watches Main Event, but he's gonna review that. We've got a lot of things coming up here. We've got Monday Night Raw coming up. Coco will do that. LK and myself will do NXT. Coco's actually reviewed Lucha Underground. Be sure to check that out. We got plenty of stuff coming up here. The Ring of Honor anniversary special is coming up on the at the end of the month. We're going to review that pay-per-view. I've actually got a couple of things in the works here. I'm not going to tip my hand just yet, but hey, it's what we call a teaser, man. What 2 big projects is Boom Boom working on? Like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and find out. If you're not subscribed to us, go ahead and please do that, because we're trying to crank out a show at least once a day if possible. So we've got plenty of things, and we're very interactive. So I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. So this is Boom Boom, and for my partners LK and Dave Coco, I am over.